Hello everyone, and welcome to etellan. For the last 10 months on and off, I have been redesigning one of my favourite doll lines, Monster High. If you're familiar with the series at all, you'd know that the challenge of the revamping was to find the original main character's dolls secondhand online, which for a 12-year-old doll series has caused many a trial and tribulation to find them all. As a doll customizer and designer myself, the aim was to revamp the face and hair, keeping the clothes and body the same for a unique collector's piece. After publishing Laguna's revamp, I wanted to do a kind of showcase of all the revamps, as well as showing any changes I've made to the dolls. I didn't expect to get approved for my new workshop during this filming, so do excuse the lateness, as well as the continuity errors in location. Make sure to check out my previous video if you'd like to see me set up my workshop if you're interested. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below if you haven't already, like the video if you like it, and comment. I love reading all of your comments. With that all being said, let's get started. The latest installation to the collection and the hardest by far doll to find was Laguna, daughter of the sea monster. Her base wasn't the original like I had wanted, as I just wasn't able to find one, or at least one that didn't cost an arm and a leg. So she was created using a second-hand Laguna base from my supply stock box. She's definitely one of my favourites face-up wise. I feel like her crisp lines and sparkly scales add so much movement and light to the face. I also really like her ear cuff fins that were a substitute for her original design's hoodie, which, if you've seen the creation video, were made from recycled plastic rubbish. Of all the revamped dolls, she's the only one with handmade clothes, which is something I get asked a lot as to why I didn't do this with the rest of the dolls in the series. As she was a nude base, she obviously didn't have any clothes and so needed some. But as I started the series as a plague lockdown project, I didn't really have the opportunity to do it for all of the dolls just because of the limited supply I had on hand. And so I decided to leave it because I thought it would be a fun contrast with the old versus the new. Which leads in a way into our next doll. With yellow eyes and golden skin and handmade curls, it's Clawdeen, daughter of the werewolf. The biggest challenge for this doll was definitely her hair. I was on my 3rd month of a lockdown, so no brown yarn, and or at least not enough to do a whole head. Buy it online, you might ask? The postal service was down. Click and collect maybe? Stores were either out of stock of international items or the shops were outside my allowed radius. So referencing her design from the Monster High 2D animation, I went with a copper colour, and not going to lie, I'm still very excited about this change. I think with the ginger hair it really brings out the gold in her skin, which I just love. It's been 10 months and those curls are still looking perfect, so I'm very happy that all of my hours and hours of curling didn't go in vain. Something I don't particularly like about this doll, however, is that damn skirt. I can't get it to sit normally. When she's displayed, I have to put her arms like pinning the skirt down Marilyn Monroe style, or she'll just be flashing me the whole time. I've tried ironing it and I'm always so worried that it's going to melt, but it just doesn't work. Ugh, how annoying. The next doll is Cleo de Nile, the Egyptian mummy princess of Monster High lore. Her original doll came with the head that I still have no idea what's going on with it. I think it got smushed by its previous owner. Some people said it's just one of the old molds. I have no idea. Nonetheless, I swapped the head out for another Cleo head and started creating the Egyptian style design. Something I would change looking back on this doll would definitely be aspects of her hair. I think that the blend of black to gold needs to be more seamless of a transition. That and change up her jewellery, which I just might do. Adding the gold to her hair and her makeup, I feel as if it really highlighted that the jewellery of the original doll was very much made of plastic. To fix this, I'm just going to remove her accessories, and with some Citadel gold paint, I'm going to give them a new updated coat. Once that was dry, I'll seal it all in with a new coat of Vallejo gloss varnish. The second doll to the revamp installment was Draculaura, daughter of Dracula. I feel like Draculaura's design is the most basic of the series personally, but being basic doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't look nice. When designing her revamp, I really wanted to go in with heavy eyeshadow, leaning towards a 2000s emo and scene style, but then realised it might not read as Draculaura, as she's quite sweet and soft, replacing it instead with a soft makeup look to match. A lot of people kept commenting that she looks like an e-girl. While it wasn't the original intention, I definitely see it. Kind of always makes me laugh when I think about it because it really kind of shows my age. Last of the dolls that don't need changes or much changes is Abbey, daughter of the Yeti. She was so much fun to work on. I'd never worked on an Abbey model before, so it was definitely a change to know how to make the face up look nice, but I think it turned out well in the end. I think the only thing that I would change would probably be the hair. While I did make the yarn hair as long as I could, I feel as if synthetic hair would have been a better decision. Probably would have looked nicer and shown off more of that undercolour of her hair. But nonetheless, I still think it looks quite nice. Adding the gems to her face and hair have been my favourite part of this doll personally, as I feel like they add so much light to her face, as if snow has landed on her cheeks. Now I have gone through the dolls that I do like, it's time to talk about the ones that I don't. After looking at Frankie since September, I've come to like her design less and less, specifically the hair and the iris design. If you've seen the video, I chose to use yarn for the hair because, like all decisions in this series, I was in lockdown and had nothing else. This has ended up being the absolute scourge of my existence. Yes, overdramatic, but it's true. It just doesn't look nice, it won't stay straight, and it just looks underwhelming when it's sitting next to the other dolls. I'm just no longer a fan, unfortunately. So carefully, with a sharp blade from my X-Acto knife, I'm just going to peel away the glue from the vinyl ever so carefully. Why is Bald Frankie actually such a look? I wish I could leave it like this. I felt that the iris design wasn't as striking as I wanted it to be. While I really liked the colours of the makeup and the stitches, I felt that updating the eye design would really make this doll look so much nicer. All I needed to do was remove the gloss varnish with some rubbing alcohol and draw in the new irises. Do some touch-ups here and there and she'll be good as new. But, just like Icarus, I flew far too close to the sun. I thought this would just be a run-of-the-mill touch-up job, but no. I was out of the room for seconds. Seconds! I come back and find Fergus on top of the doll, and he ate the face. He ate the face! Why would my little boy forsake me like this? Along with literally eating her face, he caused deep cracks to appear in the varnish. I'll try and salvage the face the best I can. The materials I'm going to be using are cotton buds, isopuryl or rubbing alcohol, 100% acetone, and water, and no birds. The best way to fix damage like this is to slowly remove the layers ever so carefully. Concentrating on the lips, I'll need to basically just slowly erase away layer by layer until I can see what the damage is. Okay, so I was able to take away the paint and have a look at the damage and be able to create a flat layer. What I can do here is I can either do various concentrated layers of blushing with soft pastels or eyeshadow, or use acrylic paint. But unfortunately, these cracks on the face just aren't as easy to fix. While I know it works with the character being a mishmash of cadavers, I just really don't like the damage at all. So in true obnoxious perfectionist style, I started the whole thing again. While I know I could have left the face as it is, I feel like I started out being unhappy with this doll, and if I left it as well, just as unhappy, it defeats the purpose of the entire project. So, you know, it is what it is, unfortunately. Okay, enough of the face, let's get into the hair, the one bit I actually wanted to change originally. For this, I went with synthetic braiding hair. Braiding hair comes pre-crimped, which is great when it's used for its intended purposes, but for me, however, I want this hair to be very straight. I spent a good half hour straightening out the hair fibres by hand with my straightener. Alternatively, of course, you could just dunk the hair in some hot water and then leave them dry, and it will be perfectly straight that way, but sadly I only remember that that was a thing after I'd straightened everything out, so do excuse that. The colours I'm going to be using are a grey and white bundle that I mixed together and a black bundle. If you yourself were looking at using synthetic hair, I would recommend you would do a reroot in the pre-existing holes of the scalp. I would have done this myself personally, but as I had already done the face, I didn't want to risk the face cracking, which is so terribly ironic. To prep the hair, I made wefts from craft glue. As an alternative, I thought it would be good to fashion a wig to build the hair onto. If you'd like to see how I make my wig caps for dolls, I'd recommend checking out my Laguna installment of the Revamp series. The reason I decided to go with a wig as opposed to gluing straight onto the scalp like I normally do was because I was nervous that the synthetic hair wouldn't look very nice, so I wanted to have ease of removal in that circumstance. Once I was happy with how the wig was looking, I just added the parting wefts and we can blend this all together with a nice wash over with some boiling water. Be very, very careful if you do this, you can scald yourself, so just take care. A month and new workshop later, Frankie finally has her new hair. I decided against giving her that little bump thing that she has in her original design just because I thought it looked a bit dated. I just thought it looked a little bit nicer just having it all out. All she needs now is thinning of the ends of the hair. And now it's time to move on to Ghoulia. The doll I ended up liking the absolute least was Ghoulia. I had tried to go for that edgy alternative look for her face up and her hair, but I think it comes off more messy than anything. So I'm going to start all over again and just take it as a learning experience really. So just like Frankie, I have to remove the hair, but as I'm going to remove the face, I don't have to be as careful this time. I definitely made the mistake of not factoring in the hair colour when I was doing the face up. When it's on its own, the face looks definitely dark, but not super dark. But when paired against light hair, it just amplifies it. And unfortunately, it just doesn't read the same way as I wanted it to look. So with 100% acetone and a cotton swab, away the face goes. With a spray of Mr. Super Clear Matte Varnish and some watercolour pencils, we can start with the face all over again. I want to go for the same eye shape that I had before, but concentrate the blushing really close to the eye itself. For this, I'm going to be using a very small, dense makeup brush to really press that colour in. He walked into frame and did a shit on camera. The colour I went with was light grey and red. It was so hard to keep such a simple face up. If you've seen any of my other work, you'd know I love going overboard with the blushing. So this was very hard. It was like an itch I knew I couldn't scratch. Between finishing off Laguna and publishing this video, Monster High actually released their Nickelodeon show and announced the new doll line that will be released some point this year, I think. Which got me thinking, do you think you'll customize your own Monster High doll like I have? It would be so amazing to see other people's interpretations of these characters. Let me know in the comments below if you're going to give it a go, and I'd love to see it if you do. I'm quite commonly asked if I will be continuing this series with the other characters from the line. While I did talk about it in my workroom setup video, I thought it would be best to talk about it here too. Short answer, yes. Long answer, while I've really enjoyed this series so much and the support that everyone has given me, I'll probably have the other characters as a season 2 as opposed to a direct continuation from here. Of course, do let me know in the comments below if you would like to see that. I do have quite a considerable amount of Monster High characters in their default or original clothes and such that are all secondhand sourced and pretty beat up, definitely needing some customs or some TLC. So they would make awesome candidates for another season. So do let me know in the comments below if that's something that you would like to see. And if so, who would you like to see be revamped? But need to quench that hunger for now, I'd recommend heading over to Moonlight Jill's channel for her current series, which is the redesigns of the LOL dolls. Link of course will be in the description box below. Time to skip a month later. Just like Frankie, we have Ghoulia in the new studio. Off camera, I did a basic hairdo with some acrylic yarn. Deviating from the revamp's original design, I thought it would look nicer to have some short hair for Ghoulia. So I'm going to just snip away at the hair so it sits just above her shoulders. I did do some little pigtails in her hair, but had to remove them later on because I'd completely forgotten about her headphones. Cutting the hair so close to the weft can make the hair look very choppy and unnatural. To rectify this, I always go with a razor and razor the ends away to make it look less bulky. I definitely think this version of Ghoulia personally fits better with her Fruits magazine inspiration. I think it's time we get a group photo of these dolls all together. Thank you all so much for watching. It's been so much fun working on this series, and I truly appreciate everyone's support and patience with it. All the videos will be in the Revamp playlist for ease of access if you want to check them out individually. Have you subscribed to the channel yet? Make sure to subscribe down below to never miss out on any of my work. As well, like the video if you like it, and comment. I love reading all of your comments. With that all being said, I'll see you in the next video.